Welcome, dear viewers, to the Tales of Terror channel, the channel that delves into the worlds of terrifying stories and disturbing encounters. Today, we have a captivating story that will leave you on the edge of your seat, craving more. But before we get started, we kindly ask you to subscribe to our channel, allowing us to bring you more engaging stories like this one. Don't forget to engage with us through the comments, share your thoughts and reactions, and leave a comment if this tale manages to send shivers down your spine. Our story unfolds as I try to silence my thunderous heartbeat, thinking that the sound of Echo's footsteps has finally faded into silence. However, as I let my guard down, a blast of scorching air brought me back to reality, a painful reminder that someone stood right in front of me. Buckle up, dear viewers, and let's get started. Earlier, when the clock's shrill alarm jolted me awake, I anticipated another mundane day. Little did I know, I was quite the opposite of ordinary. Midnight marked the beginning of my day, as I toiled away online for an American company through an obscure foreign website, selling products to customers from afar. The work, though tiresome and monotonous, demanded a great deal of focus, forcing me to endure the absurdities that occasionally arose from clients. I brewed a cup of coffee and readied my laptop, delving into the slow passage of time as I began my work. Unexpectedly, a visitor appeared, conversing fluently in Hindi. His words left me dumbfounded, prompting me to respond in English, concealing my true identity from the customer's knowledge. To my surprise, he turned out to be an Indian, a peculiar occurrence since all my clients were typically foreigners. I contemplated ending the chat, but before I could, he divulged details about my actual identity, demonstrating an unsettling familiarity with my life. Astonishingly, he even described the very cup of coffee I held before me on the table. Feeling as though my laptop had been compromised, its camera, perhaps hacked, I quickly shut it down, endeavoring to catch my breath and regain composure. Just as I attempted to steady myself, my personal phone began to ring, the screen concealing the caller's identity. Curiosity mingled with trepidation as I pondered the identity of the mysterious caller. With a tremor in their voice, barely audible yet comprehensible, they engaged me in conversation, requesting nothing more than my agreement to a forthcoming proposal. Reluctantly, I reopened my laptop, logged out of my company account, and signed into my personal one. There, I discovered a message from the caller, containing a link to an enigmatic website named MSDJ. With trepidation coursing through my veins, I clicked on the link, only to find myself staring at a chilling gray page. Its contents were unfathomably sinister, a grotesque collection of videos depicting the merciless slaughter of innocent children, the cruel torment of young girls, and the abhorrent rape of the vulnerable. It was a disturbing window into a world where human organs were treated like commodities, where weapons and human beings themselves were subjected to a perverse market, defying all notions of morality. Unable to bear the horrors on display, I hastily closed my laptop, attempting to distance myself from the nightmare that had unfolded before my eyes. Just as I thought I had escaped, my phone rang once again. This time, I answered with a stern voice, demanding an end to the persistent calls, as I vowed not to involve myself any further in this harrowing subject matter. In response, the caller erupted into a fit of maniacal laughter, a chilling sound that seemed to reverberate endlessly. Finally, after minutes of uninterrupted mirth, their voice turned into a sinister whisper, uttering the haunting words, "I knew you would refuse." The line suddenly cuts off, leaving me in silence. But at that very moment, a strange sensation stirred through the kitchen. The lights flickered and disappeared, plunging into darkness. And then, a strange, unsettling movement moved up my cheeks. I was not alone in my house. Fortunately, the glow of my laptop screen provided a faint glimmer, giving me a glimpse into my surroundings. I've seen a silhouette from another world, rushing at an incredible speed, defying the limits of imagination. It was an enormous, strange entity, something I'd never laid eyes on before. I didn't dare to make a sound, but this creature moved with quick agility. I panicked, searching for my phone, desperate to contact anyone who could come to my aid. But to my dismay, the phone seemed unresponsive, as if it had fallen under the control of some malicious force. Oxygen began to feel scarce, and I found myself sinking to the ground. My heart was beating fast and irregularly in my chest. I crept silently, catching glimpses of approaching horror. It was the ugliest creature my eyes had ever seen, an imposing figure with long horns and a body ablaze with a furious inferno. Unearthly screams emitted from her burning figure. On my stomach, I maneuvered into a room, hastily shutting the door behind me. I clutched my chest, desperately trying to silence my thundering heart, praying that it would not betray my presence. Terror and fear consumed my thoughts, while an inexplicable sensation permeated the air. My condition rapidly deteriorated, shortness of breath, dizziness, and burning pain in my heart. It was a fear I had never experienced before. As I struggled with terror, my eyes fell on my phone, still connected to the mysterious chat. A chilling message appeared: "Everything will stop the moment you accept the offer." The sound of footsteps approached, and without hesitation, I wrote in the chat, "I agree." Trying to muffle my racing heartbeat, my footsteps stopped for a moment, leading me to believe the ordeal was over. But in a sudden twist of fate, hot air blew in my face, and someone stood in front of me. Opening my eyes, I found myself sitting at my desk, facing my laptop. A Canadian agent was talking to me, and it dawned on me that I was about to fall asleep. It was all just a dream come true. I took a deep breath, trying to steady myself, realizing that the horrors were just a figment of my imagination. In search of solace, I ventured into the bathroom to splash water on my face. But just as I was about to leave, one word etched on the wall caught my eye. "Welcome." I struggled to understand the meaning behind this mysterious message. However, I ignored the dreaded confrontation and went back to my work. After all, an urgent issue was looming, and the loss of my only source of livelihood would leave me in a precarious situation, stranded in solitude without the means to support myself. In my final hours of work, as I was getting ready to shut down my laptop, something inexplicable happened. The strange website that had haunted me before opened on its own, without any command from my end. I could not understand who or what was behind this frightening phenomenon, but before me lay a screen filled with gruesome videos and den of organ trafficking, a drug market, and even a dark room where weapons were sold. The enormity of it all left me bewildered, paralyzed with fear. But here's the dreaded warning: if you refuse, you'll lose my life. I stood at a crossroads, not quite sure what course of action to take. My laptop stayed connected to that ominous location, my phone remained unresponsive, and every attempt to flee my apartment was thwarted when the lights went out, leaving me with an overwhelming sense of a malevolent presence lurking nearby. The choking hold of terror intensified with each passing moment. I begged for someone, anyone, to save me from this nightmare because I knew I couldn't take it any longer. I was so overwhelmed with despair that suicide seemed like the only escape. I have always been fascinated by strange and unknown occurrences and a seeker of the unusual. Little did I know that this insatiable curiosity would lead me down a path I never expected. I received news that a 26-year-old girl was found dead in her apartment, a tragic suicide. What sent shivers down her spine was the discovery of a paper lying next to her dead body. Oddly enough, the same phrase I encountered on my bathroom wall had "welcome" written on it. The laptop bore no traces of the site's origin. It was as if the darkness that had decimated that girl had now set its sights on it.
Today's story is over. Our stories are not over yet. See you tomorrow in a new day of horror. Goodbye.